Good morning. Welcome to 365 Days of Richer Living, daily morning reading, meditation, and prayer time. I am Reverend Rafe Ellis, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader at Columbia Center for Spiritual Living in Columbia, Maryland. Today is July 21st. I give freely. And our reference quote this morning comes from the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 38. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down and shaken together, and running over. So our reading begins. We all wish to receive, but how many of us desire to give? If, as Jesus intimated, if, as Jesus intimated, receiving is the other end of giving, then the more we give, the more we shall receive. Quote, who loses his life shall find it, end quote. We should give the best we have to each other and to the world. This gift of life is made without effort. It is a complete abandonment of the self to life, a conscious letting go of all the tight strings of our being, a loosening of the divine gift within us. Only when we have learned to give all shall we be in a position to receive all. God, quote, prepares the table before me in the presence of mine enemy. My cup runneth over, end quote. Realizing that the table of the Lord is ever spread with the bounty of the eternal givingness, and knowing that my inner shepherd attends my every need, I realize that my cup of joy runs over with the gifts of life. Unhesitatingly, I give to others. I share my kingdom with all. Today, I give myself unstingingly to life, unstingily to life. I unloose the well springs of my being and make a complete deliverance of the self to life. This I do with joy, withholding nothing. I shall not do this with any hope of reward, but in the glad joy for the opportunity to increase my own livingness. Everything that I have belongs to the world. Giving, I shall receive the world back into my own consciousness. So let's take that to our time of meditation and contemplation. And so with this breath that was and is given to me, I breathe in, allowing my awareness to go deeper into my being, opening me to a higher access and understanding of the consciousness that I am. I recognize the one life, one source that gives all of itself to its creation. And yet, in its giving, is expanded, is never absorbed, is never changed. This is the first example of giving. Life itself gives of itself to itself. That giving is the activity of receiving. That giving is inseparable from receiving. That this is the nature of my being. Beyond human nature, it is really conditioning. The nature of my being is the divine expressing as human, giving itself as humanity, fully infusing its creation with all that it is, each individualized expression a point where the divine is expressed. I am that. And what is true of me is true of all. And so every individualized expression is a fully infused point of divine expression. Being one, being all there is, there can be nothing else to express. All life being made out of it, there can be nothing else made but it. That form, the variety of form, the diversity of form, cannot alter the essence out of which it is made. And so the divine lives, moves, and has its being in, through, and as every expression of its creation. Giving, forever giving to itself. And in the reciprocity of life, expanding itself as it gives. And so knowing that I am that, knowing that I am connected to that, knowing that within that, around me, in me, that beyond what my human brain can really grasp, I accept the oneness of my being. I accept the oneness of all being. I accept the interconnectedness of life. I accept that life is always giving from itself to itself. And I consciously, intentionally give all of me without restriction to this thing called life, to this activity called living, to this idea of humanity, to this idea of a world that works, a world that works for all is simply a world that works, a world that is actively expressing the reciprocity of its being. A world where there can be no haves and have nots, because the undeniable, unrestricted law of reciprocity is in operation. And so I heal any thoughts of restriction operating in my conscious awareness, in my thought world. I heal, I neutralize, I let go of all barriers that create the diversion and the affluence, free flow of the abundance of life. I embrace and I embody that there is no private good. There is no private pain. There is no separate me. There is simply one life. So I give in alignment with oneness, with wholeness. I give of the self to the self, knowing that there is only one self, expressing in multiplicity, yet still one. That there is no waiting for abundance to arrive. It is here. It is born in creation. It is only stagnant by withholding. It is stagnant by barriers to giving. It is stagnant by an unhealed thought of lack. So I heal what is operating in this point of expression, knowing that what heals in one place heals in every place. I live in the gratitude of truth, in the gratitude of wholeness, in the gratitude of unrestricted flow of abundance. I live in the gratitude of the reciprocity of giving. With no thought of receiving, knowing that giving and receiving are one. I refuse to separate them anymore. I give as life gives to me. At this point of expression, I align my human expression with my divine being. And I give. And I give. And I give. Knowing that I cannot exhaust the source and substance of my being. I give. I give. I give. Shay. Shalom. Hope. Me.